Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Today's topic is from the book Sky Yoga for Human Excellence by Vedatri Mercy. And the chapter is Individual and His Duties to the Society. So, based on this chapter, we will discuss the today's lecture. We all know what is a cycle. Cycle means, the literal meaning says it is a series of rotation. When we say duty cycle, the people are going for morning, evening, night, or day shift, night shift. That is a routine cycle, duty cycle. That is in other terms of duty. Other cycles, we all know, even from the childhood, even a child knows what is a cycle when we say water cycle, or we are all are conversant with the water cycle, or in technical terms they call it a hydrological cycle. So this is again a simple form of cycle. Water gets evaporated or from the sunlight, then it goes for the collections, it goes into the condensation, then precipitation, collection, evaporation. These are the four cycles technically termed. Or simply, with the effect of sunlight, the mass, huge mass of water body leads to evaporation. Those evaporation leading to condensation or cloud formation, and those clouds precipitate or rain. This rainwater flows through different areas throughout the earth and gets collected into the water bodies. So this is how the typical water cycle, even taught in the school stage, even children also know the water cycle. When we say these cycles could get disturbed or disrupted, so that is how the concern comes. If the rainwater is collected in streams and going back to sea, that's the normal cycle. If that is disrupted, there is a construction of a dam, or this water is not going back. So this is how the disruption comes, or interruption to the cycle that can impact the entire cycle process. There are other forms of cycles also. We call it biogeochemical cycles, or biological, geological, and chemical events which are involved. So those are called biogeochemical cycles. For example, carbon cycle. This is again another cycle which is being discussed at various forums and global forums. That is called carbon cycle. The other one is also nitrogen cycle. How nitrogen from the bacteria stage, it released into the plants. From plants, it nitrogen is released to the atmosphere. That's again nitrogen cycle. If we go with the carbon cycle, we see the carbon or carbon dioxide in the form of exhaust or from all across the atmosphere is absorbed or taken to the plants. Carbon dioxide taken to the plants goes into the root, and it takes from the root also. These carbon or plant residues or plant products are consumed by human beings, whether it's animals or humans. These again secrete or release carbon dioxide. Other than the industrial combustion, whatever hydrocarbon we say, hydrocarbon energy that we are burning, this hydrocarbon is again a form of from the plant product that is being burnt, combusted. The combustion released CO2. That is again a cycle. So basically, this is again another terminology that people they put it carbon cycle. So the idea or concept what we are trying to say, the cycle is a natural established process that is taken care by nature. So these cycles, which are part of nature's activity to maintain balance. Any imbalance caused to this can disrupt or can be interrupting the process of the nature. The Just to give an example, we let us go with the simplified ones, which is artificial cycles created by human beings. The chemical cycles, or technically we call it refrigeration cycle. Refrigeration cycle is nothing but a refrigerant which is used in our ACs or refrigerators, fridge. Coolant or a refrigerant is in the form of a liquid. This liquid expands or evaporates. These vapors cool the other item, whether it is air or food items in the fridge. These hot vapors are again compressed, again cooled, again the cycle goes. So that is the refrigerant cycle. Imagine if the refrigerant is lost in between or the compressor fails, the entire fridge is down or AC is not working. So the same way, if any natural cycle is disrupted, there will be disturbance to the process or natural process. When we go to the topic, let us go with the couplet, which is by famous poet Thiruvalluvar. Two simple lines. The seas, the source of the rain clouds, lose their depth in the absence of rain. Just two lines, very simple to understand. The seas, the source of the rain clouds, seas or the oceans are generating or contributing for the clouds, rain clouds. The ocean, which is having enough enormous body of water and which is the one which is contributing for the rain, can lose their depth in the absence of rain. So this is what just two couplet mentioned by poet Thiruvalluvar. In the event, this is what is the water cycle we were referring to. In the event water cycle gets disturbed, rain and all interrelated events will fail to function properly. This is already felt in many regions. We have seen that there is deforestation taking place, deforestation is not leading to not having enough precipitation or not having enough rains. That subsequently leading to a shortage of agricultural produce that is disturbing the ecology, that is affecting the geographical and conditions and climate change. This is on a bigger scale. It is called as climate change. This is already realized or being realized by humanity, the effect of this, the effect of interfering with the natural cycle. Now, all over the world, there is a big discussion on climate change, carbon emission reduction, carbon footprint, the big terminologies. What are those? Most of the time, we don't know the value of what we already have. Until it is gone, we don't realize the value. The worth of thing is well recognized only when it is lost. There is another quote: don't take things for granted. We never know when they won't be available anymore. So these are the ones just to give an emphasis on the importance of the cycle that is nature has given. Now, every human is dependent on society. Everyone is a receiver of society as a collective at some point of time. Some are contributors to the society, many are receivers in the society, or they have their needs, those are fulfilled from the society. Every individual must know the responsibility and duty towards society. Individual, which is born as an infant, helpless infant, is being supported by the society with the social support. It is not just a parent or a parents or family members. During the process of growth, the entire social contributions or society is responsible, or society is contributing for the growth of everyone. So society is providing all the resources for the growth of an individual. That growth, by the individual, has to be realized by the individual. That is the responsibility. And then it, at certain stage, once it reaches a certain stage, the stage of contentment, then that has to go back in paying back to the society. When the person is paying back to the society, that helps the social support system. That is how the society or the duty cycle goes smooth in a harmonious manner without upsetting the progress of the society. Society goes towards a progression state instead of recession or downfall. So, like the earlier cycle, this is the kind of cycle, the duty consciousness, duty to pay back to the society is the cycle which needs to be maintained so that the progress of the society is harmonious for everyone who is living in this society. How can that be achieved, or how can that be taken back? There are several avenues for which we have to give most the importance in maintaining the cycles or the social balance. All this can be understood only by education. Education is the most important perception, Marcy says, one should have to get that the awareness. Even I want to pay back, that awareness has to come from only then one, if one is realizing the importance of paying back, he will be able to pay back, or he will have that intention to pay back. So that education to get this, or realization of paying back, realization of duty consciousness, that one has to pay back to the society, or he has the dues from the society and dues to be paid back to the society. So that kind of education or understanding or realization is the most important concept. With that concept, a person can progress at least in thoughts, words, or deeds. That concept of paying back has to be realized. If that thought comes, later on it will come into words, later on it will get implemented in actions. So that is what is the education is the most important aspect for every individual. When we say education, the word education is the gives, or it generally gives the perception that one has to get the skill, or enable himself to read or write, or develop professional skills, get a job or get some employment, so that he is independent, or he is earning his own and he is not dependent on the society. This is a different perception of education. But the education that has to include the knowledge of philosophy of nature, or the moral science, or good habits and conduct, a realization of the benefits a person is receiving from the society, and he is responsible to pay back to the society. This kind of education is important, not just education to earn money, or to be independent and having his own livelihood, or earning his abilities to earn more. So that's not the only education. This is the most important part of education Maharshi puts emphasis on. One with these values, to be a responsible citizen, even if a person is how literate or how educated or how highly positioned in the academic field, if he lacks this kind of concept, the philosophy of nature, the moral sciences, or good conduct, or responsibility to pay back to the citizen, will ultimately lead to imbalance in this circle. If there is no payback, the circle is getting disrupted. The society will not progress with uniformity. When we just a simple example of paying back to society dues, during my engineering college we had a particular group, and REC there, for different students from different states were there. A particular group of students from Gujarat, they had a beautiful Gujarat association. Even during freshers time they used to rag and all those things were their part. But on the freshers day, the seniors, they used to collect all the books they were given by their seniors, and they used to pass on to the freshers. On the day of freshers day, they say, okay, you people, you guys don't have to buy books, you take all these books and read and use it. Once you are done with the first year, you, when you go to the next academic year, you pass on these to your juniors. So that's how they were maintaining a good trend. Or it's a simple example of how you are receiving from the society and paying back to the society. This is just a small example, but in every part of life, every moment, we are receiving something from the society. But that has to be realized that we, at some point of time, we need to pass on to others in the society. When we say the current education system, subjects are not included. The subjects what we are talking about, philosophy of nature, the moral values or good habits, conduct, these are not included or these are not taught. So the responsible citizens, what we are expecting from them, many are not aware of their responsibilities to the society. But thanks to our sky system, these are taught even to the youngs. When we say the YEP program, Youth Empowerment Program, these are taught even to the teens. From the teenage, they are nurturing their qualities to be more responsible citizens, to practice the values of human values, the values of nature, the good habits, or showing the responsibility of a more responsible citizen or global citizen kind of thing, responsible, showing responsibility for the entire globe as a whole. So that's kind of things which can be taught, which need to be taught at an early age. So that is why the youth empowerment program that takes the lead in making or shaping the citizens or shaping the youth as the responsible citizens. Even when we say big talk like duty, you pay back to the duty, those are big things. If we are able to make it fine, even the smallest or simplest thing what we can do by listening to this YEP program, if we are referring to my friend, his son or daughter, if I'm referring to some people, that there is a program going on, YEP, you send your children, they can learn more. Even that is also a good duty or act of duty towards developing the or shaping the world for a better world. When we say these kind of acts, duty and morality, all these things indicate a virtuous way of life, leading a virtuous way of life. These are nothing but the three noble qualities: morality, charity, and duty. When we say morality, what actually it means or tries to say is, or in simple words, whatever you do, analyze your act. Every act, just analyze whether it is good for someone or not. Second, it is not causing any harm to anyone in society. That is the basis for morality. When we see someone in misery or pain, we try to help him. That is act of charity. In simple words, not to cause pain is morality. To help someone in pain is charity. So if these two practices are taken care, so that becomes act of duty. All these three together put together are the virtuous acts or a person living a virtuous way of life. When we say these things, in reality, in practice, there are various things, the needs or expectations, which is common. Expectations or needs cannot be ignored or should not be ignored, rather. Marx says, yes, needs are there to be satisfied, one must satisfy. However, when we are living, the desire for a luxurious lifestyle is increasing day by day with the pressure around us, with the social media and all those things. The desire for a luxurious lifestyle is on the rise. That is leading to a demand in more commodities to show our luxurious lifestyle. That leads to demand for earning more or saving more. This is how the vicious circle is going on. Expectations which are exceeding the natural way or normal way, that can be harmful. The key point here is contentment. If contentment is lacking, then people go on the get in the trap of the vicious circle. So there must be some moderation. That is, the moderation or the expectations are to be checked or moderated in the terms of need. How much I need, is that okay? Right. Then or what I need, is this okay? Then on the quantity, how much I need. Then quality, do I need to this extent of high-end mobile or a high-end shoe or a high-end car? The quality, is that acceptable to even at a moderate level? Yes. Same way, the time aspect. When do I need? I need now itself. Just a student of grade 10 or grade 12 asking for, insisting for a high-end equipment gadget. Is that time? May not be, no. It may not be needed at this point of time. Someone employed or someone at a higher position or higher level of responsibilities may be needing a high-end device. So this is just an example of various moderations that can act on the item or commodity of need, the quantity of the need for the commodity, the quality of the commodity, the time when needed. So these four aspects, if moderated, then the expectations can be under normal acceptance levels, and it won't lead to a exorbitant or extravagant lifestyle. This is again comes from the various social pressures or wastage of money in the social activities, whether it's a lifestyle or the dowry system or expensive education system. There are education systems which people are sending to different countries abroad, ending up with high money, and for that to meet the money expenditure, people are forced to put in extra efforts. So that is how the need for demand for more money is getting more and more exaggerated, or more and more pressure on the individuals. That is because of lack of knowledge or lack of education. So this is again the realization that knowledge and wealth gained by individual should be utilized for the benefit of others. If I go on accumulating and massing the money or the worth or values, go on accumulating, that will not be helpful. That will be disturbing the uniformity across the globe. Someone who needs more to be supplemented or to be augmented with his need. So that's how the balance can be maintained among the need of people in the society. This is what is the basic importance of one's duty. Duty, when we say, that is the importance, or understanding the importance of duty is utmost important or significant. This duty is divided or expressed as five folds. Maharshi puts the duty as five folds: duty to self, duty to family, duty to relatives, to the country, and the world or society or global community at large. As we see the intensity of that also, yes, duty to self is of importance. Then it expands to the family, expand further to relatives, friends who are closely connected on a day-to-day life. Then to the country we are living in or we are responsible, we are citizens of. Then expand further to the world, the neighboring countries or depending countries or associated countries. That's how the whole world or the globe. If we just take a small example of a duty to self, when we say duty to self, it is the individual's responsibility to grow himself, to take care of himself in terms of health, not only just wealth, even health. If just a person is responsible enough, he has studied, he is able to earn, he is getting in good employment and getting good money, that doesn't make a complete duty to self. He must take care of his own health. That is of utmost importance. Because if we see the overall concept, what Maharshi has mentioned, if person is not healthy, he will be a burden or he will be depending on the society. For example, if we see the quantum in India, the healthcare budget allocated for healthcare is 90,000 crores rupees. That is about 3% of the GDP of India. If people are living a healthy lifestyle, if I say, okay, even half of the people, half of the budget gets reduced from, it comes to about 45,000 crores of rupees. This money can be used for development work. It can be built, used for building a dam or building a roads. It is almost equivalent to 250 kilometers of rail network or major maritime projects that are coming up in coastal sea project which are coming up. It's about 45,000 crores each project. So these are the quantum that can help in taking care of a simple healthcare and by an individual, because the quantum, because of a larger population, even one person is every person in a family is taking care, the quantum is so significant in terms of economics. This is again connected with the healthcare, is again connected with economics, which results in global welfare or country's welfare. So message is, live a healthy lifestyle. That is the duty of every individual. For this, Marcy has given the most simplified exercises, most simplified manner. He has given the simplified exercises and practice Kaya Kalpa. What you are doing activities, exercises, what you are taking intake, Kaya Kalpa. So this is not a option, not an option. Rather, it is duty for every responsible citizen. One who is taking care of his health at a primary is a responsible citizen in a way. Now, coming to the education or jnana or knowledge, Mercy says, yes, these are non terms which come secondary. Morality, jnana, knowledge, responsibility, shame. All these will run away when encountered with hunger. If a person is at hungry, he is in a deep state of need for food, he will not bother about what is the type of food or what is the shame in collecting food or asking for food. So this is how the hunger or the basic need, the need, when we say Marx's philosophy of life, when we read that, the first needs that to be satisfied are the basic needs. So basic needs have to be satisfied first. After the basic need comes the basic protections. Only after these, the other terminology or other terms come. So in a society, if some other persons are deprived of the basic needs, they will not be listening to the words of duty or spreading duty or acting responsible citizens duty. Their first and foremost need is to satisfy their hunger. So that has to be helped by the other people who are having this ability to help them. So that is a kind of act of duty to act, to do the act of charity. Those who are deprived, their hunger or their needs have to be satisfied first. That is again a duty of the person who is contented or who is capable. Poverty stricken people, those who are deprived of basic needs, they cannot come on their own. So they must be supported by the persons in the society. So that is again an act of social responsibility. Good deeds are born without, with good deeds are born within. It is not from outside. That is coming out because of proper moral education. This is again a most important, significant statement. These good deeds are born within. Laws, regulations, or fear of punishment, these can suppress the desire of doing evil deeds. Okay, if some watchful actions are there, okay, we try to suppress. But if there is no other threat, then people go for the evil activities or evil desires. So that is how the law or regulation cannot suppress one from not acting in a proper way. That has to come from within. So that is what the importance is. One should be getting educated or knowledgeable or aware of his moral values. That moral education can bring permanent change in the thought process. If the moral from the childhood, from a younger, tender age, person is taught the moral values, duty bound values, so all his acts, all his thinking process, all his words and deeds will be synchronized and will be in the responsible way of behaving good, not under the pressure of fear or under the fear of law. Okay. For this, all children above 10 must have the knowledge of philosophy, moral behavior, and values of good conduct. For this, Marcia suggested in his book that resident schools with trained teachers, they will be able to mold the students. They can produce better citizens for the society. Again, Marcy has commented on sports and games. Sports and games were a part of education system to produce healthy individuals. Yes, that was considered as even during our school age. Sports, there was a period called sports or activities for improving fitness or improving blood circulation in the body. However, sports are getting deteriorated. The intention of sports is getting deteriorated. Youth are getting engaged in games for the sake of fame or earning more money. Those who are becoming famous sports personnel or professionals, they are getting more money or more revenues from their advertisements or other procedures. So that is the intention for going for sports. And second thing, there are other students who are engaging in sports which does not just involve the blood circulation or physical activities. They are even engaged on the ones which can be detrimental to their eyes or brain. So the video games or computer games, what we are trying to see nowadays. So that will be the intention of the sports participant was to enhance their physical and mental health. If that is not really understood or realized, then the current level of sports participation needs to be amended or taken care. Again, when we say sense of duty, there are famous academic institutions, all high level institutions. They keep their association with the passed out students or alumni or alumnus. They say this contribute to your alma mater. That is what the academy, not only just in terms of financial, even the literary work, their financial contributions, their academic contributions are going to the alma mater as a part of their payback to society. Even when institutions, other than that, organizations, they are encouraged to participate in corporate social responsibilities, or they call it CSR. As a part of that, this is again pay back to the society, the industry where it is operating. This industry is taking out something from the society in terms of whether it is the natural resources or in terms of causing hindrance to the public life. There are various things which are getting impacted in the society. So that as a way of, as a courtesy to giving back to society, they adopt some poor villages, they maintain public parks or places of public worship or amenities. These are the small examples of corporate social responsibilities which are shown by organizations. Education or awareness or knowledge, that is the most important aspect, that one should be responsible for the duty or maintaining the cycle, duty cycle in paying back to society. That ensures maintaining a complete society and with complete harmony. So we'll just try to wrap up all the points which were covered or which were mentioned by Maharshi. Education, and this is not just education in common sense, education in five fields. Field number one, that is in terms of science. Persons excelling in science can be a great scientist. They can contribute with their innovations to the world community, that is paying back to the society. However, just scientific finding alone may not be helpful. That has to be understood, keeping in balance view of the other four fields also. We'll just go to the other examples of how these are all interrelated, or how this should be looked at in complete view, not just one aspect. A person is a scientist or one is studying science, he is going to contribute in a big way to the society. No, it has to be taken care with other fields also. If we just go back to our earlier example, there were people who contributed to science in developing many things. For example, plastic, which was considered the great finding, now it is causing a nuisance. People are trying to get rid of plastic. Carbon emissions or technology. Now people are finding carbon emission is something of concern. It is needs to be cut down, even though it was a technical effort which was excelling. Or nuclear energy, nuclear technology considered a great source of energy or a great finding, but it is again causing a disaster in the long run. So these are things which need to be understood, whether it is in a complete view of taking care of the society or not. So for that, one has to have knowledge or education in all the five fields. Field number one, science. Second field is healthcare. Healthcare developments, a person should be aware whatever development he is proposing or making, say in the field of science or in any other field, that should be taking care of healthcare. At some point of time, particular commodity was said to be good for health. Later on, realized no, 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 it's not good. It has to be replaced with something else. So this is how healthcare importance also needs to be uh, mastered, or knowledge of healthcare has to be there. Maharshi, if you see, he has given his knowledge on the science. He has given his knowledge on healthcare, simplified health, simplified exercises, which ensures complete health without making complicated with any other activity or any other part or any other field. Simplified exercises are ensuring complete health of individual. So this is just again not just longevity, but with good health. That is important. Several medicines or several scientific fields have advanced. People are now living to the age of 80 plus 90. That has become very common. But with good health or with depending on the society, being living up to the age of 80 plus and being a burden on the society is again detrimental to the society or upsetting the society or social values. It is again causing a burden. So not just living longer life with the help of science or advanced medication, but with good health, or longevity with good health. This is again one of our, when we say in our blessings, we include this good health and long life. So these are all linked together. So that's how the importance is to be realized or understood. The third field is economics. Any innovation, it should be viewed with perception of economics also. Concept of giving to the society, that should have a positive impact on the society or economics of the society. Any technology, for example, this computer programming things have gone with beyond normal human programming, gone up to artificial intelligence, AI. These technological revolutions are having a or potential impact on economy. So should that be looked after as a boon or a curse? So that's again any innovation or anything that needs to be looked at, viewed at with perception of economics also. So that's what instead of having a single person growing with economy, Marcy suggested the economy or economics of cooperative, running things with a cooperative manner, so that more and more people or larger participation in the society, that will help them in gaining back from the investment or from their contributions. So that way, that will ensure the upliftment of people at large, not just limited to few industrialists or a few people with a bigger money of their investment. So that's again a cooperative kind of economics Marcia suggested. This is again economics or impact on economical changes, that also needs to be understood or realized. This is again part of the education, value education. Then the fourth one is politics or governance. For every area or zone or country, governance or political system is necessary for a smooth maintaining or smooth running of the people of that zone or region or citizens of that country. But the understanding of the politicians or those who are running the country or for the managing the political affairs of the country, they should be properly educated. They should pursue their thoughts in making the country respond, the citizens of the country be comfortable. There are politicians we see, there are politicians who think they want to make their country great again, but at what cost? Are they causing pain to others, causing harm to others? Are they understanding that uh, their act in pursuing their thought is at peace with others or not? So that kind of understanding, overall balance or overall understanding, realization has to be understood or has to be realized by the person, by those politicians. So political knowledge or knowledge of political repercussions or political impact on the decisions, that also needs to be understood by every individual. Doesn't mean that I need to be a big politician to practice this, but the impact, the consequence, if it is understood that it is not causing pain to others and trying to remove the pain of others, that itself is good enough to pursue the concept of one of the concepts of education in these fields. The fifth one is overall philosophy. This is what we were trying to, even after knowing politics, what is the consequence is to understand the philosophy, the concept of live, let live, or be happy, let others be happy. In a broader sense, don't give pain and take away pain from others. That is the philosophy, the ultimate one, which aims or which targets the complete humanity at large, is the concept of philosophy, the field of science, field of healthcare, field of economics, field of politics, and the overall the highest order is the field of philosophy. With knowledge or realization of all these fields together, that gives the complete education. So that is what Marcy was trying to say. If people are having education in these fields from an early age, that gives them a or makes them responsible citizens in the country, in the world. When we say to complete wrap up the things, human beings are dependent on society. They are not autotrophs like plants or animals. Plants are autotrophs. They produce their own food, but animals can manage from the nature. But human beings are dependent on the society. When we are dependent on the society, be it food, education, employment, or security, for everything, human beings are dependent on society. Based on these factors, the positions may vary. Someone having a high resources, someone is having low on resources, but everyone, some are even trying to get their satisfy their basic needs, even survival of basic needs or basic survival things are lacking. So those things need to be taken care by others. They, human beings have a duty to pay back to society from where they grew up. When we say village, if I say one small name, the favorite village or village you like, we will take the village what where I was born or where I was brought up or where I had spent my most of the time. So that is because of we have our associations with the uh, place where we were associated longer duration. Say I was there for 15 years. So that is how the association comes. When we think of giving back, we think of giving back to the place where we had our boarding. When we expand that, when it goes to a country level, I am a citizen of this country. I owe my duties to that country. Same way, when it expand further, it goes to a global or a social values or a society at large. So this is the concept, education and awareness, that one is responsible for the duty towards the society, that ensures harmony in the society, that will maintain the society as a complete place of peace or blissful state. So with this, I conclude again the quote or a couplet from Vedatri Maharshi: see the unity of the world in everlasting every morsel of food, pay back your dues through deeds that are always good. Be blessed by the divine, be blessed by the divine, be blessed by the divine.